Hey. Well, welcome to the new world. It's a new world, folks, because the Lions are going to the conference playoff against San Francisco. And I just realized that those colors, the Lions and San Francisco, are the same colors of the Rock'em Sock'em Robots. So there you go. It's a Rock'em Sock'em Conference League champion. So there we go. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. We're all pretty much nuts right now. If we're not nuts, we're going to be pretty much, trying to find nuts. I got caught in the loop. I'm sorry. So please welcome for the off night, Mr. Mark Sweetman.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, you put so much effort into trying to remember what the name of the show is sometimes.
It throws me off,
Now I hit all the buttons.
I got long-term COVID since I was 18,
I hit all the buttons perfectly. I hit all the cues on the time cues that I had been practicing, And then when I hit the music was playing on the screen. In other words, I see the bars bouncing up and down like it's a music that's playing. Did you hear the music at all?
I can hear it right now.
Oh, is it still going?
Yeah.
No, I just can't hear it. Hold on. All right, I'll take it down here. There we go.
It's off now.
Wow, I couldn't hear it. I wonder why. Now that is odd. I could hear you. I could hear Andy when we were talking to him.
Yeah,
all right, anyway.
I was always kind of confused why you were letting it go on for so long. Like, okay,
yeah,
he wants to bet our conversation. Yeah, it's like a rock and roll, sort of jazzy radio show.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay, he's betting it, folks. Okay,
anyway,
so what's going on, man? Are you excited about the Lions?
I'm very excited about the Lions. In fact, you were there last night at the show. We were talking about, the Lions are pretty much setting our schedule there at the Ale House.
Yeah.
So this week we didn't have the dojo, but we had the Unclub. Next week we're going to have the dojo, and the game's going to be during the Unclub. So we're still going to do the Unclub, but we'll see. I like to think of it as we half the performers are women, and women aren't as excited about football as the guys are.
Oh.
Well, not at the Unclub anyway. It doesn't seem like. Am I missing something? Am I missing? Who is excited about the Lions over at the Unclub?
I ran into this young lady, Marlena, who's a video person. We both have the same problem. We can't watch the game with people. I've tried it a couple of times of being in a room like with going to a bar or something. It's like when the third quarter comes and I'm in the fetal position, people don't like that, So every time in a Lions game, the third quarter comes along, I'm just completely wound up. I have to be at home. I have to switch the channel off a couple of times. And she's the same way. She's just like, I got to go into this room. I got to stay in the special spot. I cannot leave the room. But that's
she's
a very intense Lions fan.
I am just the opposite. In fact, I would like if they open up Little Caesars Arena or Ford Field I wouldn't do it in Comerica because it's in the middle of winter. But I'd love to go down there and watch it on the Jumbotron just to be with a bunch of people that are watching the Lions in the Super Bowl.
Oh, that would be cool. I mean, yeah. At the
a lot of cities do that because the game is usually in a off site. They pick a site and you never know. Los Angeles Rams were the only team that ever played in their home stadium for the Super Bowl. And that just happened. That's just happenstance, right? It just happened to be when it was their turn to host was also the year they had a good season. That it's not. Here we've had 60 Super Bowls and we've only had one that's happened.
Yeah.
And so, but a lot of towns, what they'll do is they got a 70,000 seat stadium. They'll charge $5 or $10 and do it for charity. They'll raise money for children's charity or homeless or feeding people and things like that. That's a great idea. I think that's a great idea.
Well, the Lions have been doing it for the away games in many respects.
Oh, have they really?
Yeah.
Even during the regular season?
Some of them, yeah. Some like especially now during the playoffs, they've been doing something like that. I know.
Well, they've been at home for all the playoffs this year.
Yeah. But it's like the thing is, I will watch the game. I'll watch the Super Bowl because that's the last game of the season. So it's like that's it. If they're in the Super Bowl, there's no reason I would go to the jumbotron and watch it. I will not get in the fetal position in the third act, the third
Oh,
quarter. So it's
yeah.
games leading up to it.
I think you'd be okay in the stadium. I think you would.
Okay, all right, that'd be cool. I think we'll be all right.
All right. And the other thing,
I couldn't get out anywhere. I would be totally, um, everybody be in the seats. I couldn't get out, so that'd be basically it. So
yeah, once you're in the stadium, they don't let you out. That's it.
yeah, I'm not gonna let you out.
That was nice having a playoff game at the same. They had one at the Silverdome, and all the years Barry Sanders played, I think they played like 5 or 6 playoff games, but only one at home.
Yeah.
So it was nice to have them home. And did you see that they were featuring a guy on NBC? Both games were on NBC, and they were featuring the same guy both times. The guy from Grosse Pointe that's had season tickets for 66 years.
Yeah. He's trying to get it in the wire.
If that is not a fan, you put up with that for 66 years. Oh my!
Paying full price to go and watch the Lions. Wow.
66 years to watch all these refs make all these bad calls against us, and we've had not just bad luck, but how about sad bad luck? We've had 2 players paralyzed and 1 die on the field, all at home games. Wow.
Yeah.
And
all the different coaches he's gone through, all the different
Oh, I know.
broken promises, and all that stuff. I don't know.
Can you imagine? And look, I can't believe how many Hall of Famers we have that never ever played a playoff game.
Yeah, I mean, the Barry Sanders story is great, but it's also very sad.
Well, the best thing the best thing they did. There's a great. I don't know if you'd call it a documentary. They just basically ran the cameras during the off season, and the 3rd episode is the one where they have the draft. And you know what? I got to get Susan. I'm sorry, we're talking. Yeah. This is sports, and I know. Jason and Sam are going to want to get in on this. So why don't we get Susan out here?
Susan,
and then we'll have her do her poem, and then we can go and talk about sports all we want. So here's my bride, Susan, and I think she looks great.
Yeah,
I don't know what she did to her hair.
Thank you, but first I'm going to call you out, Mark. You sexist pig.
What now?
How dare you say that women aren't as excited about the Lions football as men? What a sexist thing to say. Did you take a poll? What do you base that on?
Did I do okay, Susan?
Mark's the one who said those really sexist comments.
Did I do okay?
Women are excited about the Lions.
Okay.
Did I do okay, Susan?
I think so, but
okay.
Yeah, you did okay because you're not married to her. The guy that's married to her is the one that does the wrong thing.
Mark, you said that women are just not as excited about football as men, and
when we did shows at the mix,
and women are excited about the Lions. And so am I. And I even wore a Lions hat last night. So anyway, there's your scolding. Let's get on with the poem. And then you can bring everybody else out to talk about the Lions. You ready?
Yeah, wait a minute. I'm looking at it. It looks like they're all guys. I guess we can't talk about the Lions.
Here's your poem.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay. Here's
some
Susan with
snow, some flooding in the USA. Look out your window for the weather today. Sunday night, the Lions won. Detroit football has gotten fun. This next sports story is on the periphery. Coach got her 1,203rd victory. Tara Van Devere, Stanford's women's coach, made basketball history. She's above reproach. Son of Martin Luther King Jr., Dexter Scott King, has joined his dad. Now with the angels both sing. He had cancer and died at age 62. So fellas, check your prostate. Don't let it happen to you.
Thank you, Susan. That's her.
And other
That's
people
her.
died too.
That's her headline news based poem, and that's always fun. You want to say hi to the guys before you take off?
Yes, I do.
All right. Here's our friend from New York City. Here's Sam Greenfield. Hello, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
And here is. You can't hear me. You can't hear you. You don't have sound. You can't hear. Oh, he can't hear us. He can't. What did I do? He can't hear us. Let me get Jason out here. Look for Sam's. Doesn't
Hi,
say that
Jason.
he's muted.
Hi, Susan. Bringing the heat tonight, huh? Damn.
Oh yeah, maybe Sam is muted or.
I'm looking at.
Otherwise.
No, it doesn't say that he's muted. Oh, edit mic settings. Let me see what that does.
Sam can't hear us. Huh.
I have. Oh, no, it doesn't say anything
Well,
about
you have
mute.
Sam's video, so
I do have Sam's video.
he should do some sign language, I guess.
Oh, we know Sam knows sign language.
Yeah.
Oh dear, we've lost Sam.
Well,
Well, at any rate, Susan, bringing the heat, love it. And if nothing else, when I see you and Mark with the wedded bliss that you two exude, osmote, it makes me not question my life's choices, but in fact grateful for them. What
Sam's
can I say?
Sam's
All
still
right,
trying to get
technical
on here.
difficulties with Sam, but why don't you keep talking about the events of the week?
All right, sounds good to me.
Well,
Or
if it
just
makes
spend the next 10 minutes, with
I
technical
have,
difficulties. Like every Zoom meeting in COVID history.
Well, you
15
should.
minutes of, can you hear me? Is
Can you hear me
somebody
now?
missing? I can't
No.
hear you. I see you, but I don't
I'm
hear
back.
you. I
He's
hear you,
back.
but
Okay, we
I
can hear
don't see
Sam now. All
you.
right, now Susan, before you go.
Susan, you've got it down pat. There
Now,
we go.
Susan, before
How
you
does
go.
Pat feel about that?
I hear Sam slightly. I thought I heard
I
him.
hear him. He's good.
No, I'm okay.
I can hear him.
I'm watching
hear
all of you having such a good time. I'm going, Christ, I feel like I'm in a brick fucking wall. I mean, just I'm looking at Mark. He's like, I'm like, what am I, Helen Keller? Jesus.
Sounds like he's off mic. I'm gonna say goodbye, everybody.
I
Goodbye,
read your
Susan.
poem. It was beautiful.
Goodbye,
Great,
sweetie.
great poem.
Bye, Susan.
Yeah.
So, Mark, do you sleep with one eye open? Do you like? Is it in a locked room, or do you just take?
Well,
your chances?
right now I'm 7 states away, so I don't have to worry about anything.
You're in Florida?
I'm in Florida. Yeah.
Where in Florida?
Well, I'm in Orlando.
Oh.
How does Orlando feel about that? Sorry, Sam.
Orlando. Actually, Orlando's not too bad. It was cloudy today, but man, after being in 6-degree weather for about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'd rather be in an ice storm than live in Florida.
Oh.
Okay, I'm not. All right, let me put it this way. I don't live here. I would not live here. In fact, even driving from the airport, I was thinking, this is nothing. All I could think is it's just so spread out and.
When every news story you ever hear starts with a Florida man.
A Florida man.
A Florida man.
Yeah, a Florida man.
Florida
yeah.
man.
Oh, and of course DeSantis dropped out.
Well, that was a surprise. I mean,
So Nikki Haley's got to get what, 2 votes to stay in after New Hampshire?
Well, it's interesting because all they're talking about now in the news is that Donald Trump, mistook Nancy Pelosi for
I heard that.
for Nikki
who was
Haley.
it?
Nikki Haley, yeah.
For Nikki Haley, and Bill Haley for Bob Dylan, which I think is even worse.
Yeah, there's a difference. Nancy Pelosi is at least effective in her job.
I agree with
And
that.
did he mention that Bill Clinton got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame today?
Did he really?
No, it was George Clinton, but Trump would have said Bill Clinton got
Bill
his
Clinton.
star on the Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
Or DeWitt Clinton?
DeWitt Clinton. Oh my God, I love it. Hey guys, good news.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Don't mean to interrupt. I have an appointment with the doctor now. It's away. March 4th is the soonest they can get me in.
That's typical.
So it's my job to stay alive from now till March.
Till March.
What's the appointment for?
Well, hopefully to see Dr. Kevorkian just to put an end to this
Oh,
charade.
stop.
Oh, stop.
just
Stop.
It's just like, come on, Doc. Let's just get this over with here. All right. I'm on Schindler's to-do list. Okay.
You know,
Oh.
This bad boy.
very nice.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Boy,
I
Schindler's
can't tell it at Passover, but very nice.
Jason, when you get back at the Unclub, if Schindler's to-do list is not in your set repeatedly, like week after week, you have gravely miscalculated what we're doing here.
Guys, no, in all seriousness, and I'm just guessing. I mean, you know, I could go on WebMD and come away with the usual, it's anal cancer because I'm a faggot and everything, but no, it's probably diabetes and heart disease or some combination of the two.
But diabetes is controllable.
Yeah, well, and so is heart disease. I mean, and it's time for me to grow
Well,
up and quit being a baby.
Here's my advice to you. If your doctor says you have pre-diabetes, do exactly what he says.
Well, I've heard that before.
And I'm pre-diabetic.
Yes.
I have been for years, and diabetes doesn't run in the family, it gallops. Everyone the people who didn't get the death penalty from the state got it from our dear friend diabetes. And so I'm no child. I know what to eat, and I know that I'm just going to have to start, you know, laying off the crap. And there's good food that can be eaten between here and March. I've literally put on about 10 pounds. I have not been chowing down on shit. It's just that I'm. It's not that time of the month, but yet I am retaining water. And nobody loves me, and someone ate the last Dove bar, and all of that shit. So I'm just gonna do what I can, like I say, to stay alive from now till March. Go in there, see the doctor. And...
Well, I want you to stay well, because that'll be the most exciting thing that I've heard. The second most exciting was they have a new Ozempic girl singing the jingle.
No.
Yes, she's also Zoftic. She's also chunky, but she's a redhead.
Oh,
there you go.
There you go.
And she's not as good as the first. She's just
they
not.
never are.
Well,
But
the first, has done Broadway.
But what they make up for it in enthusiasm. I'm talking about chunky redheads. They make it up in enthusiasm. So there's that. But,
Well, you know, it's funny. I told Barbara, I said, you know, the new Ozempic girl is a redhead with pale skin. She goes, "That's every woman you've ever been attracted to." And I said, "That's true. Red hair, pale skin," which is why that's exactly true. Which is why, Red Buttons and I had a thing for a while. And I'm in a crowd where everybody knows who Red Buttons is. So
at least we know that you were the top in that affair.
I certainly was. You know, he won an Oscar.
Really? What for?
Yeah.
Sayonara.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Him and his co-star Inoshi Umeki.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who I think was later in The Courtship of Eddie's Father.
Yes. One of the funniest stories I've ever heard about any woman from Asia. I had a downstairs neighbor, Italian guy, redneck from Virginia, but Italian, Joe Giannini. And when he was stationed overseas, he met and married a Filipino woman. And when he met her, she was like, "It is so nice to be with you. You are such a magical man." And he slipped the ring on, and I tell you what to eat, motherfucker. I mean, and this is how bad that marriage was. He lived on the first floor. We lived in an apartment building, and like they cordoned off. They made it so everybody had their own little apartment, bathroom, and all that. And Joe had the bottom floor, and so he had a backyard. And Joe, every day, would practice with a .357 Magnum, firing into the back of an old junker car he had. And so one day I said, "Joe," and it wasn't loud, because it went right through. It would go through the back. If you know anything about a Magnum, it would go through the back seat, through the trunk, through the back seat, through the dashboard, out the grill. And I said to him, I said, "Joe, why do you do this every day?" He said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear it?" I said, No, not at all. No, I don't care that you do it. I just want to know why you do it." He goes, "I'm just waiting for the day."
Oh, God.
I said to him, "Waiting for the day of what?" He said, "Have you met Eliza?" I said, "Your wife?" And I was like this, your wife? He goes, Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
I said, well, yeah, she seems nice. He goes, you're lying. That bitch drives me nuts. I said, yeah, but you don't want to kill her because then you'll go to jail. He goes, well, not if you know where to go. And I'm like, holy fuck. But I don't know what happened to them because I moved about a year later and I never saw his name in the paper. So,
Right.
you know.
Obviously, the inspiration for the great country song, How Can I Miss You, Baby, with my gun right in your mouth.
I always like, how can I miss you when you won't go away?
Take your tongue out of my mouth. Can't you see I'm trying to say goodbye?
Oh, wow. I've got the
yes.
all overs for you all over me.
The only
Thank
bridge
God
you
in
never
Greyhound
burned.
you're gone. And of course,
The
the
only-
most famous, she
Yeah.
got the gold mine.
And
I got the
Got the
shaft.
shaft. Yeah.
Yes. Well, Mac Davis also did one. Johnny Carson asked him what his saddest song he ever wrote was. He goes, "Thanks to you, I'm drinking Christmas dinner," which
Wow.
he didn't perform, but that that and John Denver was asked what his least favorite song was, and he replied, "I got a lot of calls when I performed 'I Am Not a Nazi Quaker' once." And
I am not a Nazi Quaker.
yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit.
It was the 70s, man. Shit was off the wall. Oh dear.
Well, you know,
Nah.
it always amuses me when people my age talk about, the lyrics today suck. Really? Did you ever hear Wooly Bully? Did you ever hear They're Coming to Take Me Away?
Great song. If you actually
great
ever
song.
listen to that, there's studio effects on that are amazing.
To the Funny Farm, where life is
Yes.
beautiful all the time.
Yeah,
Yes.
but it's about a guy who's been driven insane by a very uncaring person. If you ever actually listen to it, you go, "Oh my God!"
Oh no,
I get
have.
this.
Believe me, I have.
This is Pink Floyd should have written this.
I thought that one of my grandma's tunes. This is my grandma, not my mom, who was a teen in the 50s. I'm talking about my grandma, who was a teen in the 20s, and I would have given her a hard time because I say, "Wait a minute now, let me see if I got this right. First, you put your two knees close up tight."
No, it's twosies. It's twosies.
Oh, I thought it was two knees.
No, first you put your twosies close up tight. You swing them to the
What are
left, and then you
twosies?
swing them to the right. You dance around the floor, yes, with all your might.
And
You twist around and twist around with all your might. Spread your loving arms way out in space. Then you do the eagle rock with such style and grace.
You put your foot way around, then you
Bring it back. That's what I call ball jack.
Yeah.
Or so I've heard.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought it was two knees, so I thought it was filthy.
I think it's twosies, like 2 feet.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
it's the same. Yeah,
Yeah, look up the
whatever.
lyrics.
I mean, he
Still sounds dirty to me.
My father used to sing me this song. I can't believe it. I miss him so much. They call her Lady Valoo. There's nothing that woman won't do. She's got no style and grace, but if you touch her face, there's nothing that girl will not do. She's got a pair of lips that are pips, and as much conscience as a snake has hips. And when she laid on the floor, I knew that I wanted more of my lady, oh Lady Valoo. And I said to my dad, I said, I'm 8 years old.
You gotta learn sometimes.
And
Sam.
he said, well, I don't expect you to sing it at show and tell. That's what he said. And the other song was, come Josephine in my flying machine, going up she goes, up she goes, up a little bit higher. Hey kid, the moon is on fire. And just repeat, come Josephine.
There you go.
And my father had a sister who was like very prim and proper.
Oh dear.
And she said, that's the reason he's going to grow up to be a juvenile delinquent. And my father said, and what you just said is the reason you're still not married.
My father's been gone 9 years now, but for about the last 10 years, anytime anybody would ask him something and he didn't know the answer, he would say, no, but I got a great deal at the Holiday Inn Express last night, which was about 15 years after they had stopped running that campaign, but it didn't matter to him. He just thought that was so hilarious that's how he answered.
That is hilarious.
That's how he answered everything. You remember that ad campaign?
Sure, of course I do. Yeah.
It'd be something to be asking somebody you think you should make another stitch here? He goes, I don't know that, but I know I got a great deal at the Holiday Inn.
Express.
So it didn't matter what the situation was. And so my dad took that upon. And so then there were people that were asking me, did your dad write that? Was your dad in advertising? Did he write that? I go, why do you ask? Because he repeats it all the time. I go, it's his favorite joke. That's his favorite joke.
Yeah.
My father used to be a numbers runner.
Oh, God love him.
Wow.
And the person for whom he ran numbers was a guy named Goldie Ahern. And Goldie Ahern owned a restaurant, Goldie Ahern's. And one of Goldie Ahern's regular customers was Vince McMahon Sr.
Okay.
And so when I was a kid, I was a kid, I met all these pro wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
And my father, he lost sight in his right eye when he was, I don't know, in his 40s. And he took me to see a pro wrestling extravaganza at Griffith Stadium. And the only seats they had were way the hell up. And I knew he couldn't see. I mean, he could see, but I knew he couldn't really make out what was going on. So it was the big match was Karl von Hess, the Mad Prussian, fighting Antonina Rocca, the Argentine whirlwind.
I remember those guys.
And so my father said, listen, you want to help me here? I said, what do you mean? He said, well, you want to tell me what they're doing? And I said, yeah. And miracle of miracles, the guy sitting on my right was blind. And he said, why are you helping your father? And I told him, he said, well, could you say it loud enough for me too? And I said, well, why are you? He said, well, my wife wanted me to go because she knows I love wrestling. And she doesn't know enough about wrestling to know what to tell me. So I did it for both of them. I did a play-by-play.
There you go.
And I go, and my favorite line of all time for anything involving pro wrestling is, and now he's reaching into his trunks and he's pulling something out and he's rubbing it in his eyes. And I always thought, what is worse, the thing you're rubbing into their eyes or the fact you reached and got it from your balls?
What I loved about wrestling back when I was a kid was that you had to run, and most of it was local. It wasn't until Vince McMahon came along.
Right.
All of it was so you might have even the same characters. You might have a Sheik and
the Iron Sheik.
The Iron Sheik, yeah. Well, in Detroit, it was just the Sheik. It was the Iron Sheik on the East Coast.
Out of respect to Dearborn.
And yeah, exactly. and in Cleveland, it would be the Persian Sheik. It would always be something different.
The Peloponnesian Sheik.
Exactly. But
the Greek Sheik. There you go.
What I loved about, and I don't know if this is like anywhere else but Michigan, Southeast Michigan. Even, Flint kind of got a lot of Detroit action, but even Grand Rapids had a different scene than Detroit did. I mean, obviously, they were the minors in Grand Rapids and we were the majors. But what I loved about it was every big time, they called it big time wrestling. It was always on Saturday. It was always on one of those UHF stations that's the only place they could
That's
get,
right.
Or Channel 9, remember?
Or Channel 9, yeah.
Channel 9 or 11.
And the advertisers were all car dealerships or furniture stores or something like that. But they always would run a full card on that. It was a 2 or 3 hour show on Saturday morning. And it was competed with cartoons. So it was usually your kids that were like about 10 or 11. They're getting sick of cartoons. It's a little bit too babyish for the cartoon.
Yeah.
That's too babyish for me. I want to get into something more adult. So I'll get into, and they get into wrestling. But they would have these cards that would all the way down. And so those were the guys that you saw at like the 8-mile Lake Guard Armory, for the, and so these are the places that had the armories. Is where they kept our weaponry for the National Guard, right? But it was also a place where you had enough room to put up a ring and put up a bunch of bleachers for the, you know what I mean? And it didn't cost you much. And so they would run these wrestling events at high school gyms, armories, old storage barns from the from when they used to store coal for the factories and stuff like that. So The smallest guy could get into it, just out of high school or college or out of most of these guys came out of the Army or the Marines. And within a couple of weeks, suddenly, they're building a following, a bunch of these little kids out of these little, and it was like $2 or $3 to go to these shows. We loved them.
So how do you attract children again? No, never mind.
You have a Saturday morning show,
Uncle
okay.
Rudy's Wrestling Roundup.
and then you have live events where they appear. So
Okay. What in my house, and how my mom wasn't a lesbian, I'll never understand. But
she
for
was.
us, I don't know. She married Dad because of the cock, but whatever. So she said.
That was in her vows.
Yeah. I was absolutely. It was like you get wet, I get hard, you get wet. Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, for Saturday afternoon.
Excuse me, Father. Did you mention cock?
Otherwise, this is not consummated.
This is we must get the cock cleared up before we go any further.
They were Protestant, so Dick was okay. So
okay.
I mean.
And by the way, if cock isn't cleared up, see your physician.
Absolutely. I mean that. But for us, it was Saturday afternoon with her smoking cigarettes, nursing the hangover, watching pro bowling, and it's like
pro bowling. Andy Vera Papa.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, Earl Weber.
Pro bowling was great.
Earl the Pearl.
Pat Patterson.
Dick Weber. Ernie Schlegel, who'd come out there dressed like he just walked out of a David Bowie going out of business sale.
Or how about
you ever had better TV in your life than
bowling
was so much better than golf.
How about Chris Schenkel, who acted?
Yes.
He
was in a later version of it. The one we're speaking of was black and white TV.
Yeah.
And Pat Patterson, and the thing was, it was there was no showmanship. There was no showmanship. It was grab the ball, roll it down the alley. Whatever happened. Oh, Billy Whaley.
What other sport can you do
Billy
have
Whaley.
drinks and a smoke and still play the game?
I can't. And the last guy's name was Roth. I can't remember what his first name was, but he looked like a side of roast beef, straight out of New Jersey.
Roth or Ross?
Roth was his last name. It
wasn't
Eric Roth, but I mean, he was just.
Do you guys remember when the PGA championships were at the Joe Louis Arena?
PGA,
the Pro Golf, not PGA, PBA, Pro Bowl, PBA.
Oh yeah, you scared me there.
Yeah, no, but you know how they take these large stadiums for the Final Four, like Ford Field and the Superdome, and what they do is they put stands above the stands for where the football setting is.
Yeah,
and so it brings it down instead of to the football field, it brings it down to the sides of the court. It is a very slow slope. A very unsteep slope that they do for these. Well, imagine that in a basketball arena for bowling.
Yeah,
and that's what they did to the Joe Louis Arena.
And they probably filled it.
They did fill it.
Oh hell yeah!
But it was like, and so if you got 20,000 for basketball, and then you can crowd out a lot of that basketball court with seats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now we're talking about 25,000 people for pro bowling.
How do you know the guy is the mayor of Taylor? He has 2 bowling shirts. I mean,
how can you tell a Polish bride? She's the one up front with braided armpits.
Oh my!
How do you define a country hillbilly? Ugly 9-year-old cannot run her brothers.
You never heard that one? That's a great one.
Mother used to tell that joke all the time. So it must, again, what can I say?
My favorite, you might be a redneck, is if you go to family reunions to meet girls.
You might be a redneck.
The funny thing about that is I had a friend for years from Tennessee. And, he had no compunction about telling me about trysts he had with his cousin.
Yikes.
Oh, you see, it's fun to joke about, but you're crossing.
Oh no,
the line.
It wasn't rape or anything. I mean, they were both into it, and I said, this is your mother's sister's daughter.
Child. Yeah.
He said, yeah, and you have no problem with that. He said, no, it was easy. And I said, how long have you been? They were both about 20 at the time. I said, well, how long have you been doing this with her? He said, I guess since we were about 14. I went, God, you know, in some ways, you are so much more advanced than me, and yet, in some ways, you're a caveman.
God,
Jesus.
can you?
Yeah.
I can't even. No, no.
By the way, I
no,
wanted to ask you a question. I was watching
no.
Jeopardy tonight. Where is Calumet, Michigan?
A little bit north of here, isn't it, Mark?
No,
Is
it's
it-
up.
is it-
It's in the Upper Peninsula,
Is
isn't
it a Uper?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because here's the final Jeopardy question. You ready?
Calumet.
The first president, the state where the first president not from the original 13 was from.
The first state.
Where the president
from
who was not from the original 13.
And it was
it's not Michigan,
Calumet.
'cause
And it was
Ford's the
Calumet.
only-
No, it wasn't Michigan.
No, because Ford was the first one who was
Yeah.
from Michigan. Gosh, let me see. Not Taylor. Was it Taylor?
No.
No, because he's from Virginia.
By the way, no one got it right, and they all said Tennessee. So I'll give you a clue. It was not Tennessee.
Okay,
They
so
thought it was Andrew Jackson.
Wasn't
but it
Andrew Johnson? Wasn't Andrew Jackson? Andrew Johnson administration wildly underrated.
Boy, could he dance.
Hey, he got impeached too. Didn't stop him, did it?
No. And he
least
always had a nice date.
He always, at least he turned down the theater reservations. Okay, he's like, Abe, would you like these?
I need this. Abe, why are we going here? We need this like you need a hole in the. Oh, never mind.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln.
Well, the answer is
yes.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Abe Lincoln.
How about that?
Makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
Right.
Although,
You know, all right. You know, Calumet, Michigan. When you look at Michigan, you got your.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Your basic hand job
You
there.
got your. All right. You got your hand. No, that's not right.
There you go. That's it.
Right.
Use that.
All right. Yeah, so I got my Lower Peninsula, and then you got your Upper Peninsula,
Right.
and this little thing sticks out here.
Yeah.
Calumet is right in the middle of
There.
it.
Keep it on.
That looks pornographic.
Doesn't it?
Well, have you ever been up to the UP? Porn's all they've got. I mean,
I performed a comedy show in Marquette.
Yes.
Oh, tell me. Do tell.
And
Do
this
tell.
is all I remember. I get to the where was it? What airport? I got picked up in Detroit and driven to Marquette.
Whoa.
And
That's
I might have been the one that drove you there. Now that I
Could
think
have-
about it,
was that you?
I
And
might
so-
have been.
And so I remember reading the USA Today, and I always used to watch the weather map. And Marquette was always in blue,
Yes.
which meant, holy shit, I'm going to die here.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And so the owner of the club was a very nice guy. He said, listen, I can't drive you back. I said, well, aren't I staying up here? He said, no, we arranged for, this was very nice of him. We said, they were going to put us up, but we
Right.
arranged for a hotel room for you near Detroit. So when you get, so you don't have to like drive, wouldn't have to drive you 3.5 hours, to get to the airport. He said, you can just, the hotel will probably have like a van or something, and we'll take you to the airport. I said, okay, that's cool. I said, but how am I getting to the hotel tonight? I said, oh, my daughter will take you.
Oh, no.
Okay. And she stayed the night with me, and she was very nice. And I
Very
said,
accommodating.
And that's
Yeah.
the story.
she was America's hostess. And and I said to her, I said, I have to ask you this. Is this something you do fairly frequently? She said, oh, you mean fuck the headliner? No.
No, she fucks the opening act. I mean,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Out of money. No.
Exactly.
And so I said, well, I said, I'm not trying to look a gift whore in the mouth, but why me? She goes, well, you're funny and you're nice and you didn't hit on me and you don't smoke. And I said, wow, your needs are so little. Yes.
I'm from my family is from Houghton, Michigan, a town about 60 miles.
Did you say Hope like in Bob Hope?
No, Houghton.
Houghton.
Houghton, Michigan. It's spelled Houghton, but it's pronounced like most Michigan people do, Houghton. But anyway, Houghton.
Spell that, please.
Houghton. Houghton, Michigan.
Okay, so some people would pronounce it Houghton, but
They would. Yeah, if you weren't from the Upper Peninsula, but it's where my family is from before they came to Detroit. The Michigan, the Sweetman side.
Oh, I wish I was in Michigan.
But the thing that those of us in Houghton, we did not like about the Marquettans, the people from Marquette would always look down on us. And we would always say, well, who's got the airport? Huh?
How about that, motherfucker?
Yeah, exactly.
Who's got Michigan Tech? There we go.
Well, hell, they come up.
Michigan Tech is in Marquette, so
There
they
you
got the
go.
bragging rights on that.
No. Michigan
Houghton?
Tech's in Houghton.
No, I beg
Michigan
to
Tech's in
differ.
Houghton.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought
North
Michigan Tech-
University,
guys.
North University is in Marquette.
We're
And
not
by the
gonna let
way, this
Oh, okay.
girl and
Yeah.
her father had. It's not a wild name, but it's one of the strangest names I've ever heard. Last names, Carmo.
Yeah.
Karma.
Carmo. And I said, "Is that short for something?" She goes, "Yeah, Carmonetti."
Yeah. A lot
My
of
father
Italians
dr-
up there.
My father dropped the. I said, "So you're Italian?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "Okay."
Blonde-haired, blue-eyed types, though.
Yeah, exactly.
No, and they're striking. They're Northern Italian.
Right.
A lot of them were miners, and they came up there into the.
That's right.
They came up there because we used to. Well, we still have lots of copper and coal.
There's a girl
taconite.
when I was working as a dorm director in Oneonta. There was a girl. What was her name? Oh, I can't remember. Screw it. Anyway, but this girl and I were very close, and a friend of mine came up to me and said, "Are you getting serious about her?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Don't." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Oh, Jean Connor, not the gangster, but that was her last name, Jean Connor."
Yeah, Gene
And
Conley.
I said, "Well, why not? We like each other." She said, "Are you going to marry her?" I said, "Well, shit, I don't think so." He says, "Well, then you have to stop seeing her because her father is a gangster. And if you don't marry her, she's going to say, 'Father, this man took my honor and would not blah, blah, blah.' And everybody's going to go, 'What happened to Sam?'"
He got into a
And
car
so
one day.
I said, "Yeah, that's bullshit." You know, he said, "Really? He killed his son-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
He
Mark was
killed
not-
his son-in-law because he smacked his daughter
Yeah.
in the mouth."
Mm-hmm.
And he said, and so he said to him, he said, "I want you to apologize to her." And according to the people who knew him, the last words this guy ever said were, "Fuck her."
Oh,
Oh,
So
yeah.
he
That's
said,
an
"Why
error.
would he do that?" And so I love this line. He said, "Well, the common wisdom here is he wanted to die. He just, first you smack her,
Yeah.
you know."
See, around here, all we've got left are Zerillis and Tocos.
Oh,
Although
yeah.
I'm told that you don't, and basically they are now firmly ensconced. Not that I'm making any aspersions, in the concrete business and cartage. You know, sort of the bedrock of mob life.
Right,
So
that
they
and
said.
garbage hole
Yeah, garbage hole and cartage. And they also used to have quite a stake in the airport, especially in the car service, because back in the day, it was a lot easier to run a car service in the seventh busiest airport in the world that somehow or another loses money and goes bankrupt every 7 years. Who knew? You know, that they'd find a way to rinse a few dollars through.
which airport was this?
Detroit
Metro.
Airport.
Metro?
Don't you remember when Metro cars went bankrupt?
I don't remember when Metro Cars went bankrupt. I do remember
Oh.
they're always there, and they were always like part of the corrupt situation.
Oh yeah, and they are actually in competition with our dear friends the Chaldeans, who for years ran the numbers operation, but now that the state has essentially legalized gambling, I imagine they've fallen on harder times. But with Chaldeans, the thing is, no, it's okay to have sex with us. We're not Arabs. was generally
Wow.
You think I'm kidding? I'm not.
No, I didn't think you were kidding at all.
No,
By the
that's-
way, is pot
that's their
legal in
approach.
Michigan?
Yes.
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 Yes, I had two
Something-
guys from Tampa Bay coming to the game. The first thing they asked is, "Can we rent a snowmobile?" The second thing they asked is, "How close is a weed store next to our hotel?"
Yeah.
I got just the
I
opposite
don't think they were
problem.
serious, you know.
I got just the opposite problem. I'm trying to tell my daughters, do not get caught with more than 20 kilos or 20.
What, 20
no.
kilos?
20 kilos.
Not
no.
20 kilos, with 20 grams of marijuana in this state.
Is that the limit? 20 grams?
Yeah.
Because 28.
Well, not even, no. That's the one that'll only get you 1 year in jail. Over 20 grams.
Well, 28 grams is an ounce. If
Tell me
memory
about it.
serves.
Yeah, so it's 0.705 ounce or 0.705 ounces.
Yeah.
God, they're so anal.
Gram. I know. Well, I had to look it up, so I had my facts.
As someone who went to prison for drugs back in the 80s, I mean, for committing a drug crime, I didn't go to prison to get drugs.
You could have.
You could
I
have.
could have, but I got better drugs outside of the drugs in prison. Not so good. Who knew?
And you can't complain.
A lot of cleaning fluid in those prison drugs.
Yeah,
And you
Yeah.
can't complain.
No.
yeah.
Well,
Who are you gonna complain?
You know,
This tastes like oregano. Really?
Digaitano. That's the name. Digaitano. Leanna Digaitano. And her father was Sam Salvatore Digaitano. That
Love
was
it.
her name. Yes.
Yes, love it. No, they are.
I
if you're
think we
running-
should go on a ski vacation. Just you, me, and my dad. I went, I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah, you like my daughter? You want to, are you thinking about making her a wife? Well, not with me, but yeah, sure. I'll find someone.
I'll
we can
go
find
there.
some. Yeah, we can.
And the thing that's
for a fee, I can be a yenta.
the thing that's sad about it was she married a guy. They divorced very quickly, but she married a guy who was like this. Hey, give me a soda. Hey, make dinner. Hey, like
Oh
you know.
God.
Oh, wow.
But to her
Yeah.
father, he's a good earner. You know, the classic rationale. He's a good earner. And listen, I'm going out tonight. What time are you home? No, your fucking business. So she told her father this, and the father he didn't kill him, but he had to talk with him. He said, listen, I'm going to make this easy on you. I'm going to get a lawyer over here, and you're going to divorce my daughter. And you know what the guy said? Yeah, whatever.
Wow.
Well, now.
So I said, so he was really, really stupid. She says, oh yeah. I said, no wonder you liked me.
Well,
Christ.
you know, say what you will about the Detroit mob in this area. The fact of the matter is, they're still looking for Jimmy Hoffa. In all
Yeah, they are.
seriousness, They are still looking for him. And has anybody really spoken a word? No. You can dig here. You can dig there. You
Well,
can call
is
up-
there common wisdom about what happened to him, or is it still up for conjecture?
Well, Mark, you want to take that one, or should I?
Go ahead. I mean, I know what happened. He went to the Macus Red Fox, and
He went to the what?
the Macus was a family that owned restaurants, very high class restaurants in Detroit.
High-end,
And one
high-quality.
high quality, high end, very expensive, and one was called the Red Fox, and he had a lunch meeting that day for one of his what do you call
Business interests?
it? Criminal handlers. Well,
Uh-huh.
he was not doing. He got in with the mob and then was trying to get out, and he died because he died trying to get out. Basically,
He was trying to get the presidency back of the Teamsters.
right.
And the Teamsters had Frank Fitzsimmons, who, as we recall, later on was arrested and had been flipped and was a.
I went to
Federal-
college. I went to high school with his son
Then you know
Oh, okay.
exactly what I'm talking about.
because the Teamsters building is in D.C.
Mhm.
and
which
and
did
his
not lower the flag when JFK got plugged.
right, and his
Because of
son
Hoffa.
told me a story that Jimmy Hoffa was a physical fitness nut.
Yeah.
And that he had this, that vice where you put a penny between the bars and you try to hold it as long as you can, and as your grip loosens, the penny will drop.
Wow, I haven't heard of this one.
It's like an upside down V.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah, I do.
And
Yeah, I do.
so Fitzsimmons. So Bob Fitzsimmons and his brother was a football player at Notre Dame.
Okay.
And he was in excellent shape. So Hoffa, just for fun, said to him, let's see how long you can do this. Well, Hoffa held it for like 70 seconds, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And the kid held it for 90. And
Yeah.
Hoffa picked up a paperweight and threw it at him and said, get the fuck out of my office.
Well, apparently Jimmy, he'd been pardoned by Nixon, and he was going to come back and he was going to clean up he was in bed with the mobsters, as Mark said, up to his neck and then some. And he was basically supposed to go to lunch, and he never made it to lunch.
Did you see the movie Hoffa with Jack Nicholson?
Yeah. There's that, and there's,
Nicholson was terrific.
Irishman, he just wouldn't get the message. He had $100,000 a year pension from the Teamsters,
which was serious money back then.
Oh my, it's serious money now. He had a place out in Bloomfield Hills on a lake. Anything you could have ever wanted. They were like, Jimmy, really, you should think about this. You got it really nice here.
Stubborn guy.
And he wasn't going to take no for an answer, which when you think about what the business he was in and the work he had to do previous, yeah, that's the type you get. And they realized, okay, well, then there's only one way to solve this problem. Now, exactly what that was, don't know, but we're still looking. You know what I mean? So they found a way.
If you want to stop a conversation dead in its tracks when you're talking about this is what you do. You know, I'll tell you, I know what happened to Hoffa. He wouldn't accept Jesus Christ as his personal savior and as his Lord and personal savior. And, you know, the archdiocese didn't like that. So they sent Father Gilhooey and his band of thugs.
Gilhooey.
Perfect name, but Father Gilhooey.
Yeah.
You know, and you know the famous soap opera, The Probing Fingers of Brother Raymond.
Yeah, I'm about to say, and Sister Enid.
Yes. What was the one? Sister Mary Pious Breath.
Oh God. You know, I've not seen the entire movie Doubt, but I've seen some clips of Streep in that, and like she makes the room get cold. Just from that
she was great, and that was the first time I ever saw Viola Davis.
Oh,
really? What I mean, again, just and that also is one of Philip Seymour Hoffman's last. I don't know if it's his last, but it's nearly one of his last performances.
I believe that Viola Davis is an EGOT.
Oh, really?
I believe she is.
Didn't Elton John just become an EGOT?
The Grammy was for spoken word recording.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't Rita? What was her name? The Rita Moreno.
Rita Moreno.
I know she had like an Oscar.
Rita Moreno.
Academy Grammy. Yeah.
Yeah, she's an EGOT.
She's an EGOT too. Okay.
She's an EGOT. I don't know what she got the record, the Grammy for, but she won an Oscar for West Side Story. Yeah. She won a Tony for Hotel Baltimore.
Yeah.
She won a Emmy for The Electric Company.
Mm.
I don't know what she won.
The EGOTs.
John Legend is an EGOT.
Really?
Yes, he is.
Yep.
There's 19. You want them?
In alphabetical
order. No, the thing is,
go.
if you say what they are, let me see how many I can say they won for.
Oh, because if they got an EGOT, you know. Oh, you mean the piece?
The individual. Piece. I'm not saying I'll know, but
all right. The latest one was Elton John.
Yeah.
Okay. His was the Emmy was for a recent a show about him.
Yeah.
A special about him.
It was a live television performance from
in California, I believe.
Yeah, from Dodger Stadium, right?
Yeah. Now for the Grammy, it could be anything. It could just absolutely be anything.
Right.
For the Oscar, it was for musical score. And for the, let me see, do we do Emmy? Yeah, Emmy, Oscar, Grammy, and Tony. It was for Aida.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It wasn't for his live performance at the George Maharis public bathroom, was it?
This is fun.
And all of a sudden you're queer.
This is fun. So I'm going to keep going with this. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Before Elton John won his EGOT. The last person who went before him was Viola Davis. What did she win for?
Wow.
She won for fences.
Yes.
She won. I don't know what she won for the Emmy. It was for that show she did where she played a teacher. How to avoid murder. How to something.
Yeah, How to Get Away with Murder.
How to get away with murder.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The Tony. She did a lot of. I don't know what it was for.
Let me see. She got a Grammy for Best Audio Book Narration.
A lot of actors get it for the audio book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of they want to get a little shine on something.
And I don't see that they listed anywhere what her
Tony was for.
What her Tony was for.
Go back in time. Who are some of the older EGOTs?
Okay, all right. Jennifer Hudson. What else we got here?
And for all you
Alan Menken, John Legend, Tim Rice, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Robert Lopez, Scott Rudin.
Robert Lopez was Avenue Q.
Wouldn't Tim Rice be Jesus Christ Superstar?
Yes.
Didn't he
Yes.
work with what's his name?
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, he also did Phantom of the Opera. That I think.
Okay, that'll be.
My favorite, if I may, my favorite Andrew Lloyd Webber story when he was negotiating. I think I told you this when he was negotiating.
Oh yes, I love it though.
Yeah, negotiating for how much they're going to pay him.
Yes.
For the rights to Jesus Christ Superstar.
Yeah.
And he said one thing. You may not change one word. You may not change one note. You may not change one syllable. This music is inviolate to me. I hold it as a child to my bosom, and you will not change one word. We'll pay you $8 million. Do what you will.
I've been watching chunks of that. It's on YouTube, but I didn't remember that Norman Jewison had directed it.
Passed away today.
He did?
97.
Wow.
I mean, that movie is so 1970, but it's great. I mean, the John
Which one?
Castell, Jesus Christ Superstar.
He did that, and in the heat of the night.
Yeah,
and
fantastic director.
Here you go, Sam.
And Moonstruck.
Yes.
And Sammy, we've only got a couple minutes left, but I got one more for you, Sam. Whoopi Goldberg. Right. Whoopi Goldberg. This should be pretty easy.
Whoopi Goldberg was, let me see, her one-woman show on Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
She won for Ghost.
Yes.
Yep.
The Emmy. What the fuck could she have won an Emmy for?
Something from Star Trek, maybe.
It couldn't have been for The view.
No. Nothing wins from The View. That's just yeah.
Well, a TV daytime.
She won for The View, so don't say that.
Aha.
You see, when I die and go to hell, I'll
her
be
Oscar
on The View.
It was for Ghost.
Her Oscar was for Ghost, and her one-woman show didn't win the Tony.
Really?
It won the Grammy for the album from the Tony from the Broadway show.
What did she win?
What she won the Tony for was Thoroughly Modern Millie, which she didn't write and wasn't in, but she produced it, and she got a Tony for that.
Here's before we go, I got to tell you because this will make you laugh really loud. Do you know what part she wanted in a movie? And she said she would do it for free, and she begged them to let her do it, and they wouldn't let her do it.
Wasn't Color Purple, was it?
Princess Buttercup in The Princess Bride.
Wow.
The one that Robin Wright did.
Yeah.
Yeah. No way Whoopi Goldberg.
And I said, yeah, that would work. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. After she plays Big Sam in Gone with the Wind.
Yeah. Yeah. Not changing an ounce of her character to adjust to the.
She shaves her eyebrows because she says that way she could play a man or a woman. Oh, Whoopi, you can leave them on. It's okay.
Yeah. But she was great in Color Purple. She was. That was a great movie.
Oh my God, that was fantastic. Yeah. That scene at the end where she meets up with her sister, I was crying.
Yes.
It was great.
Yeah, I mean, who directed that movie? I should have known.
Steven Spielberg.
I knew it was Oprah production.
Did not Spielberg. One Oscar, not one.
Can you guys hear this music?
I can.
I hear it. Yes.
Why can't I hear this? I don't understand it. But anyway, the music means that we're at the end of our hour.
Get your hearing checked.
That's it. So I'm going to break it down so I can talk over it. That music means it's the end of our hour. We meet here every Monday night. We're a bunch of old geezers.
Like, click, and subscribe.
Did you just say? Wait, did you just say old geezers? Isn't that
Old-
redundant?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. It is. We're a bunch of geezers.
How about
Anyway,
old-
our profession is stand-up comedy, and we don't necessarily hold back people that aren't old men that are comics, but
Wow.
and we don't want to make that exclusive. But
Oh,
that's
yeah.
just the way it's
Who are you
turned out.
kidding?
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it's a bitch fest. What can I say? Anyway, but we're here every Monday night at 8:00. This week I'm in Florida. We'll have more
How long
about
are you
that.
gonna be in Florida?
I just got here, so I'll be here through the week. I'll be back Sunday night for the show at the Ale House. I do a show every Sunday night at the Ale House that Andy and Jason are a major part of, and Sammy keeps trying to get a job in Ipsy so he can be part of the Ale House on Sunday night too. So
And Andy, I'm sorry, Sam, we have an enticement for you. If
Yes.
you move to Ypsilanti, we will put you up not in one, but in 3 trailers of a trailer park. Put a fence around it, which makes it officially a compound. So you'll have a compound in Ypsilanti, and if we put enough runaway girls in it, you'll be a cult leader with your own compound.
I am
Come on,
bored
dude.
again hard.
Yeah, you see that?
anyway, that's our show for tonight. Join us every Monday night at 8:00. If you'd like to get on as a regular, it's very easy to get on the show. Just contact me.
I mean, look, Sam's on it, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Be unemployed and you can make it. You know?
All right. Hey, and this is episode number 194. We're coming up on 200. Maybe we'll do something special.
Jason, you have me at runaway girls.
Got it, fun. I'll see you guys all later. Stick around. We'll talk after the show. Again.
All right.